Y'all, some of us have taken this soft life thing way too far, and it's been bothering me so much that I was like, I gotta jump on here and make a video. The soft life thing, it's not all bad, but let me tell you something. It is selling you a lie, and I would even go as far to say that it's anti-gospel. The Bible talks about, and hang in there if you don't get offended, because I know some of y'all are passionate soft life people, but the Bible talks about losing your life to gain it. That don't sound like soft life to me, right? And even some people that are running around, maybe you don't say soft life, I have noticed a trend in the soft life, you know, generation. Like the soft life, everything I do has to be easy. If it ain't with ease, and if it ain't the Lux life, then I don't want to do it. And it breaks my heart because I'm like, yo, so many people are missing out on what they actually desire, which truly probably isn't even the soft life, because they are chasing this false sense of soft life. Do y'all get what I'm saying? And so many people are like, well, I don't want to go to school because, and I'm not saying you have to go to school. I believe that that is not the only way to make a wealth. I believe college ain't for everybody. But so many people are like, well, I'm not going to go to college because that's not the soft life. You know, it's too much work to do my application. It's too much work to get the credits that I need. But instead of doing that, because you claim you live in a soft life, you go work 2 jobs. But that's not truly a soft life, right? Soft life will have you out here not having kids because it's work, instead of rolling up your sleeves, right, to have these kids because you know you want a legacy. Rolling up your sleeves and allowing yourself to go through what it takes to get them to a place where they are self-sustainable. Soft life will have you avoiding anything that is hard work. Anything that's gonna stretch you. You're like, oh, I don't want to do that because, you know, soft life and that's too hard. No, boo, it's called development, right? It's called getting faster, stronger, right? Smarter. That's what it's called. And I feel like a lot of us are defaulting and saying, oh, soft life, when the reality is you are avoiding personal development that only comes from living a true life, right? A normal life. And I want to be careful with saying normal, because normal is based on our reality, and I get that, right? But you cannot, there's still some universal truths, right? You cannot gain muscle and not work out. You can't. You just cannot. You can, the same thing is true whether you want to believe it or not. You cannot build $1 million business and not sacrifice some time or sacrifice some distraction so that you can focus. I don't care what nobody has to say. I will argue this all day long. You cannot live this extreme version of a soft life and achieve the goals that it is that you say you want to achieve. You cannot. Soft life will have you out here broke trying to prove that you live in this Lux life. And when reality, it's not time for you to live the Lux life. It's time for you to live below your means so that you can purchase the rental property that will fund your future Lux life. But you're trying to live Lux life, soft life right now for social media. And I don't feel like all of it is bad, right? So please don't come at me in the comments like, that's not what a soft life is about, da, 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 da. Because I get it. I like the idea of rejecting the struggle, especially as Black people. We have, you know, we have a history of the struggle, and I think the opposite end of the soft life is that you could think that everything you do has to be, you know, hard manual labor, or everything you receive has to be by the blood, sweat, tears, all of those things. And so I reject that life too. And also I reject running raggedy for a little bit of change. It's funny because some people who say they're living a soft life, they exchange their time to do things that are not very fruitful. So here's what I want to recommend. I want to recommend, instead of a soft life, you live the flow life. And here's what I feel like the flow life is. The flow life is getting in alignment with what God is calling you to do. The flow life is getting in alignment with what God is already doing. The flow life requires the fact that you slow down, take a moment to think, okay, God, what are my giftings? Okay, God, what are you calling me to do? Okay, God, what are you calling me to do in this season so that I can get in alignment with what you're doing so that I don't have to live the hard life, right? Now, it don't mean it's not hard work, but when your work is in flow with what God is calling you to do in that time and in that season, there is an ease to it. Right? There is a naturalness to it. It doesn't mean you don't have to show up. There is no, here's my biggest thing. There is no replacement for hard work, determination, and focus. regardless, even if you're in your calling, even if you're doing what you've always dreamed of doing, I think the fear is that everybody's dreaming of getting to this place, and when they get to this place, this mysterious place, they're surprised that they have to continue to show up. They're surprised that they have to continue to put in effort. They're surprised that they can't just sleep in all day and receive the things that they want. And so getting in that flow life means that instead I'm not sacrificing the things that are important to me in order to exchange that for a little bit of change, if you get what I'm saying. It means that because I am walking in my gifting, doors seem to just be opening with this ease, right? This little bit of effort. And I know some of that is what the soft life is about. At least when I hear some people talk about it, they get it. But a lot of people, I feel like you do not get it, and you're buying this lie of social media. So instead of keeping your head down and saying no to certain things, you feel like you have to say yes so that you can look like you live in a soft life. You can live a soft life and say, hey, I'm not going to be raggedy tired. So what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to go out with y'all all weekend and then chase my goals that I said were important to me in the midnight hours. Or I'm not going to spend all my money on that because I have a future where I'm considering how I'm going to build wealth for my family so that the struggles that they went through, they don't have to go through anymore. To me, that's what a true soft life is. Soft life means pivoting when you're doing something that's not working, but it's different than quitting, right? I see so many people quitting and they think they're pivoting. You're not pivoting. What is your reasoning behind not doing it? Oh, because it takes work. Oh, because you don't have the money. Oh, because you have to go without. So then you're going to go find something else to do out of the need to live the soft life? What? Or you're avoiding the hard conversations, or you're leaving a marriage because it ain't the soft life. Boo. People have to put in work to have a marriage that gives them the soft life. And that's the irony behind the soft life. It's like, I'm not going to do this because I want this. Take marriage, for example. I'm sorry, y'all. This is something I'm very passionate about. Take marriage, for example. I feel like in my marriage, I am living the true definition of a soft life. Do we argue? Yes. Do we fight and bicker all day long? No. There's an ease. There's an enjoyment that I just get to enjoy my husband. I get to look forward to coming home to him, or him coming home to me. I get to look forward to us traveling together. Why? Because I didn't fake like I wanted to live the soft life, right? We had the arguments. We had the discussions. We talked about where do we want to go. We put in the work. We carved out the time to be together so that we could build what the outside sees as a soft life. No soft life comes without sacrifice. It's like you are literally going to choose your heart. Let's take working for an example. I know people that have like 5 jobs. They have 5 jobs, ain't working on none of them, right? They're not making moves on any of them. They are literally picking up jobs based off of how easy is this job going to be for me? How can I make money without doing nothing? So they are exchanging all this time, running back and forth like a literal chicken with their head cut off, running back and forth, working all these jobs, and they wonder why they're in the same place in life. Working all these jobs, but because they're working all these jobs, they tired. So they buying all this food, fast food. So, they wasted money on that. Their health goes bad because they all these different places. And so, wasted money on that. And they wonder why, oh my gosh, I haven't made real progress, because you chasing easy instead of instead of getting in alignment with purpose and then showing up at that purpose. And then once you get in alignment with purpose, you find you're on this job or you're building this business and the favor of God is on that. And for some reason, doors start opening. For some reason, your bank account starts growing more so than the person running around with 5 or 25 jobs trying to do nothing. Right? Get in the flow life. Get in the flow life with every area of your life. You want to get in the flow life. Reject the soft life. It's the same thing with your kids, right? Getting in the flow life. God, what would you have us to be doing in this season? What do you want for me to do with my babies? The soft life for me looked like when my kids were really, well, they're still young, but when I first started having kids and they kept coming, y'all, it looked like me honoring the Lord and stepping back from my career so that I could focus on them, focus on being a new mom, focus on getting my systems in place for the house. And because of that, some people thought, oh, she's weak, she don't want to work hard. If you ever have been at home with kids, you know those people are crazy. But the soft life for us in that season looked like me taking care of home and my husband coming home. So although it seemed like we made less money, and we did, we made less money, you know, than other people in our same situation, but we had more peace, we had more joy, and because of that, we were able to progress still financially. And y'all have heard me talk about that before, versus someone else who they still chasing and going crazy, they not in that flow life, right? They just doing whatever they can to keep up with the Joneses or whatever. Now you look up, they're divorced, they're not happy, they're doing all these different things because they weren't in the flow life. The flow life looks different for each season. The only thing you can do to get in the flow life is to get in alignment with what God is already doing, because it is so easy for him to bless what he is already in the process of doing. We have to get in alignment. God already sent us here for assignment. We have to get in alignment. We have to work on us. Soft life looks like I'm going to develop myself at all cost. So the soft life for me in that season and this season, it's kind of weird. I'm transitioning out of the season, but the soft life for me looks like, okay, how can I get systems in place to run my home the way that God wants me to run my home? And what's happening in the process? I am a beast at time management. And because I am a beast at time management, it allows the soft life to flow throughout my home. My kids don't even realize it. I think for a while, my husband didn't realize the magic I was working, right? Because I didn't run from personal development. And I think that's my biggest pain about this soft life. You are running from getting better. You are running from getting better. And it makes me so sad in this, because you want to appear like you're living a soft life instead of going towards what it is that you're called to do, knowing that later that's going to produce, you know, a better life for you, a life of flow, a life of ease. But ain't nothing easy, right? You're going to choose your heart. Even when you get to that top level where you feel like God is calling you to do, you're going to be pulling from the character that hopefully you developed in this season, right? And you wouldn't have developed that character if you over here trying to fake like you live in a soft life. Now, I am doing mindset work, like wealth building and all of that. And so what I'm not saying is, you know, not hiring help and stuff like that. Listen, the first thing I'm going to buy when we reach the point that we have the number that we have put down, I'm going to buy my time back. So I will be buying help with around the home, help with, you know, driving errands, things like that, helping my business, things like that. But I'm going to do it in step with God. I'm going to do it in his flow. Guys, all of this goes back to having your vision for your life that God has given you. And I know y'all are tired of me talking about it, but you got to know what it is that you're called to do. That's what I'm talking about, getting in the flow. So anyways, I wrote a book about it. It's out. Yay. And so you can buy from Amazon. I'm going to put it below. I love you guys. Stop with this soft life stuff. Get in this flow life. Get in alignment with the Lord. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.